Good evening, guys. Welcome to this full body stretch yoga class. Kind of does exactly what it says on the tin. We're doing a little bit of stretching for the whole body. It wouldn't be one of my yoga classes if it didn't include a little bit of strength and a little bit of all-roundedness. So, but generally a nice juicy flow for the entire body. We're going to start in child's pose. So if you want to roll yourselves around, take your knees to be about as wide as your mat, big toes to come to touch underneath you. Sink your hips heavily first, so you've got that weight to start to open into the hips, and then allow your hands to walk away. Allowing your forehead to come to rest onto the floor, or you can bring a block in if you prefer, or a cushion perhaps. Reaching those fingertips away from you to start to find length in the side body, and then just allow yourself to become still. Maybe you can close your eyes to just allow the body to feel like it's arrived, it's ready, as it settles in here. Focus your attention to your breath, and as you breathe in, expand into the chest, feel that extra physical space. And as you exhale, feel the softness, feel everything sink and feel that little bit heavier. Again, breathing in, finding space. Breathing out, finding softness. Take one more just like that. And then staying in your child's pose, let your hands come together, so palms to meet, arms are nice and close to the ears. Bending the elbows so the hands come towards the back of the head or towards the shoulder blades into a little shark fin. And give the back of the elbows a little press against the floor just to start to feel that extra opening into the upper body. The chest is nice and heavy. And those elbows feel like they're denting the mat. One more deep breath. And then exhale. Release your hands. Walk your hands in until you come up to sit onto the shins, and just let the knees come a little closer together. Interlacing your hands behind you, palm to palm, drawing the fist towards the floor, breathing in, puff your chest to the sky, lift through your chin, open the front of the body. As you exhale, interlace your hands in front of you, press the palms away, chin to the chest as you hollow out the front of the body. Again, breathing in, hands behind you, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, breathe into the belly. Breathing out, hands come in front, palms press away, spine pushes backwards, big hollow shape in the front. Good, one more of each. Breathe, fist to the floor, chest to the sky. And breathing out, interlace the hands, press the palms forwards as the shoulder blades broaden across your back. Undoing, releasing. Taking a nice deep breath in as you reach your arms to the sky, lifting the gaze, reaching so the side bodies feel nice and long. And then as you exhale, take your arms wide into a big capital T shape, keeping your arms in line with your shoulders. Breathe in, keep tall through the torso. Breathing out, twist towards the right. It's an active twist. You don't feel like you go very far, using the core here. Exhale, let that hand place down behind you as your left arm reaches up and over. Breathing in, come all the way back to the center, arms keeping nice and wide. Exhale, twist towards the left. Think of right arm going forwards, left arm going back. And then fingertips to the mat, right arm all the way up, all the way over. Feel that length in the right side body. Draw yourself back to center. And then come across back to the right side. Twist the chest first, place the fingertips down, option to do the same as what you've just done, or allow yourself to squeeze your glute muscles to lift your bum away from your heels, doesn't matter how far you go, and then sit yourself back down, take those arms back wide, breathing in. Breathing out, twisting towards the left, left fingertips to the floor, reach that right arm up and over, option to lift your bum off of your heels, squeeze your glutes, find that opening in the front of the body. Sit the bum back down, one more each side, guys. Twist towards the right, keep those shoulders active, fingertips down, breathing in, option to lift the hips. You can leave them down if you don't like it. Sinking the hips, and then draw yourself last time, all the way around to the left. Strong core for the twist. Reach those fingertips, squeezing the glutes if you're finding that lift in the hips. As you bring your bum back towards your heels, let your hands come out onto the mat in front of you as you find your tabletop. Take a deep breath in, scoop the ribs down to the mat, lift through the chest. On the exhale, walk your hands away from you, out towards puppy pose. We're just sort of moving one breath, one shape for a moment. So inhale, walk them all the way back in towards tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, down dog, open through the armpits. Take a deep breath in here. Breathing out, roll the body forwards towards plank. Inhale, drop the knees, scoop the belly down towards the mat, lift the chest. Exhale, bum to heels, child's pose, forehead to rest to the mat. Inhale, rise back towards tabletop, scoop the chest, sit bones to the sky, gazing up. Breathing out, hands walk away, puppy, think of sinking the chest towards the mat. Breathing in, walk them back in towards tabletop. Breathing out, press the hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathe in as you hold down dog. And breathing out, roll the body forwards into plank, broad shoulder blades. Breathing out, drop down through the knees, sink the hips down towards the heels, child's pose. Breathing in, onto tabletop, scoop the belly, lift the chest, sit bones to the sky. Breathing out, hands walk away as the chest sinks down into your puppy pose. Breathing in, the hands walk back in towards tabletop. Breathing out, the hips rise to the sky, the thighs press back, down dog. Inhale as you hold. Exhale, roll the body forward, shoulders on top of wrists, plank pose. Inhale, drop down through those knees, bum to the heels, forehead to the floor, child's pose. And one last time of that, inhale, tabletop, scoop the ribs, lift the chest, gazing up. Breathing out, walk the hands away from you, find heaviness through the front of the body. Breathing in, walk the hands back in. Breathing out, tuck the toes, thighs press back, down dog. Hold your down dog for your inhale. Exhale, roll the body forwards into plank. Inhale, drop down through the knees, bums press down to the heels, child's pose. And as you inhale, rise your way back up towards tabletop, hopefully feeling just a little bit warmer in all of the different places that we're moving into. From here, your right arm is going to thread underneath your left armpit, coming into a threaded needle. Side of the shoulder, side of the head, rest down onto the mat. Make sure you found a comfortable place first. Then send your left ball of the foot out onto the mat behind you, so the leg becomes straight, but the leg is down. Option for the left hand to stay where it is for balance, or you can reach it all the way up, drape it over the lower back and see if your fingertips can search out your right thigh. Keep turning through your chest. Your gaze can even start to turn a little more towards the sky if you found a deep twist here. Focus the inhale right down into the belly. And then on the exhale, unravel that left arm, push your way back up with that left hand. Left leg flies to the sky, the right hand comes to find the foot behind your back. Kick that foot to the sky as you come into tiger pose. Left glutes are squeezing, right chest is opening. Stay strong through that top leg, breathe in. And then breathing out, let it go. Sweep that leg out wide to the left side, placing it down onto the floor beside you. Toes point forward to the top of the mat as you come to stack tall onto this kneeling right leg. Left hand onto the leg beside you. Breathe in, right fingertips go to the sky first. Breathing out as you lean slightly out towards the left, gate pose. Roll the chest open a little more towards the sky. Tuck the tailbone. Find that length in the right side of the body. Breathe into it. Find extra length. And then breathing out. Straighten yourself up. Sit your bum down towards your right heel. Left toes turn towards the sky. You can widen your knee out a little if you like. So it's like a half child's pose. Hands can then either walk forwards if you're at this point. Maybe they just place forwards if you're not quite there. It's the inner left thigh that's probably going to hold you back if you're struggling with your flexibility here. Push that left heel down into the floor. Keep the toes flexing back towards the body. Breathing in, fingertips crawl away. Breathing out, sinking towards this right thigh. Now from here, rise your way towards tabletop. Keep that left leg out beside you. We're going to come straight into a three-legged dog. Keep that leg straight as best you can. So tuck your toes, lift that leg to the sky, reach through the toes and press your right heel towards the floor. Open those armpits wide. Feel the crown of the head rising away from the mat. Breathing in. Now, as you breathe out and come towards plank, I want you to wrap your legs, eagle legs, coming into a left-handed side plank. So the legs are wrapped together, right arm then reaches to the sky. Maybe the gaze follows. Told you we'd do a little bit of strengthening. Inhale, hold it. Exhale, bring that right hand down. Drop that knee to the floor. So your left knee should be in front, your right knee should be tucked behind. Open your feet to be as wide as the mat and then walk yourself back to sit between the heels. Option to sit onto a cushion or a block if your hips are very much not appreciating this pose, not quite ready for this pose. Thighs squeeze together, option to deepen the pose by sweeping your feet further away from you. Sit bones stay glued to the floor. Breathe in, send your right arm up and then reach it down between your shoulder blades. Left arm then reaches to see if the fingertips can find each other. If you don't have a strap and you can't quite make it, just let your left hand hold your top elbow instead and help it sort of reach that little bit further down your back. Keep your chest rising, lengthening the rib cage up and away from the hips. And softening as you breathe out. Last breath in. And then exhale. Release the hands. Roll yourself back forwards over those knees. Untangle as you come back towards tabletop. Deep breath in, resetting with cat and cow. Lift the chest, sit bones to the sky. Breathing out, hollowing out the belly, broadening the shoulder blades across your upper back. Draw yourself back to a flat spine, left arm this time, threading, going underneath the right armpit, palm to the sky. Give yourself a moment to come down onto the side of the shoulder, the side of the head. The right leg extends out onto the ball of the foot behind you. Right hand can stay where it is, or you can go all the way up, all the way over, and maybe those fingertips can hook around your left thigh. Focus on keeping the breath nice and steady. Drawing it down to the bottom of the lungs where it feels that little bit trickier to breathe into when you're twisting and you're balancing. One more deep breath in. As you breathe out, undo that bind. The right hand is going to press down. Press your way towards tabletop as you come into tiger. That back leg flies. The left hand reaches back to grab it and then kick that foot to the sky. Squeezing right glutes. Strong through the leg to help stretch through the front of the left chest. Keep the gaze forwards, the chest proud, and a nice strong kick. Breathe in. And then breathing out. Let the hand come down. Sweep that right leg all the way out to the side. Place it down beside you. Toes point to the top of the mat. Stack yourself tall up onto this left knee. Right hand rests out onto the leg next to you for gate. Inhale, left fingertips to the sky. Exhale, just a little lean to the side. Remember, it's not a fold forwards to help you get further down your leg. If anything, lean a little further back. Tucking the tailbone, squeezing the glutes. Find that length in the left side body. Inhale. And then exhale to rise up tall. Sitting your bum down toward your left heel. Option just to widen the left knee out a little bit. Right toes flex to the sky. Stay nice and long through the torso as you fold forwards. A little bit like a child's pose hybrid, but definitely doesn't feel as comforting as child's pose. As you fold towards the top of the mat. Push that right heel away. Flex the right toes back. Stay long through the sides of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Great, use your breath in, rise up towards tabletop. We're coming into a three-legged dog. See if you can sweep that right leg straight up into the sky, keeping the leg as straight as possible. Reach through the toes. Imagine you're trying to poke a hole on the ceiling. Inhale, holding here. Exhale, bring that leg underneath. You're going to wrap it around your standing leg for eagle legs. Thighs squeeze together. Transitioning onto your right hand for a right-handed side plank. Left arm to the sky. You can try the double bind of the foot if you like. A single bind is enough if you don't want to. Take a deep breath in as you hold. And then exhale. Bring the hand to the floor. Guide that right knee down. The left knee should be tucked in behind it. Feet about as wide as the mat. Walk yourself back take a seat between the heels, take a little readjustment and a shuffle if you need to get yourself into the right space. Knees are trying to be as midline as they can, sitting tall. Left arm reaches up and down between the shoulder blades, right hand sees if it can find those fingertips. Otherwise, just hold on, left elbow in towards the head. Lengthen through your torso, inhale. Benny's doing his own yoga poses this evening, breathing out. One more, breathing in. And then release it, breathing out. Undo those arms. Again, see if you can find a bit of momentum or strength to roll yourself over those knees. Untangle the legs and then find your way up into down dog. Toes are tucked, hips are lifting, thighs are pressing back, opening the armpits wide, shoulder blades broadening. A nice deep breath in and a slow breath out. Now we're just going to make a little fancy transition to the top of the mat in a progression of three-legged dogs. So as you inhale, right leg, lift it to the sky. Think of stretching that left hamstring. As you exhale, take a little step forwards with that foot. Inhale, left leg reaches to the sky. Right heel stays heavy. Exhale, step it forward, just a tiny little step. Again, right leg, breathe in, lift it up. Breathing out, step it down, gets harder as you go. Breathe in, lift that left leg. And breathe out, step it forwards. It's starting to feel like a standing split. Inhale, lift. And exhale, step forward. Take another couple if you need to get there. If you're already there, feet are going to stay hip distance apart for a Ragdoll Fold. Soft bend in the knees, the belly and thighs rest together. Arms can either dangle or you can cross them. And you can either stay stationary or you can sway, your choice. Allow your spine to keep lengthening. Crown of the head reaches down towards the mat. Great, take a nice deep breath. And then exhale. Release your hands if you're not already. Wiggle your feet a little bit wider to be about as wide as your mat. Toes are going to angle away from one another, sinking your hips low into your Yogi Squat, into your Malasana. So allow yourself to find this shape, whether or not that means doubling over your mat to put under your heels. You can stay on the balls of the feet, but see if you can encourage the weight towards your heels. You could put yoga blocks under there if you need to. Use your elbows to press the thighs wide as your chest stays stacking tall. And just allow yourself to find a little bit of movement, a little sway from left to right, still encouraging the thighs to stay wide. Just finding a little bit of liquid movement within the hips, and then making that movement a little more dramatic perhaps. So as you move towards the left foot, lift the heel so you're onto the ball of the left foot, and then come all the way back down. Control the up and the down, so lift the right heel, the body turns a little more towards the left. Drop that one, then do one more each side, lifting the left heel, stay tall through the chest. And then lifting through the right heel. Now stay onto the ball of this right foot. We're going to move into Skandasana. So you can keep your hands on the floor for balance if you need to. Slidey floors are actually a bit of an advantage here. See if you can press that left heel away from you. So slide that left leg out towards the left side of the mat. Toes to the sky, heel pushes away. Now see if you can drop this right heel back down. That is my heel sliding against the wood. See if you can drop that right heel back down towards the floor. It's just it's an effort, doesn't matter if it goes down or not. Keep your chest nice and tall, drive this knee wider. Lifting through your chest, breathing in. Now see if you can just place your bum down behind your right heel with control. Your arms are going to reach forwards. You're simply going to see if you can come straight back into it. You can use a little bit of momentum if you need to. Obviously, the less momentum, the harder it is. So 2 more of those. Sit your bum down just behind you. Reach your arms forwards. Rise back into Skandasana. 1 more. Sit the bum down. And rise your way all the way back up. Hands come back in front of you. Use your fingertips for some balance so you can step that left foot back in. Bless you, Benny. And then coming to the other side. So you're going to lift onto the ball of the left foot. Heel is lifted high. You can use your hands for balance. Let that heel, right heel, slide away from you. Again, carpets make life a little bit easier than perhaps a sticky mat. Then see if you can encourage that left heel down towards the floor. Maybe that heel has to slide a little further away from you. Hands in front of your chest. Keep your torso nice and tall. See how it goes on this side. Arms reaching forwards is a good counterbalance to help you control, to see if you can sit down, and then reach them forward, see if you can lift back up. Just 2 more, sitting down and lifting back up. And then 1 more, sit it down, lift it back up, and then let your fingertips come back to the mat so you can encourage that foot in. 2 options to play with here, either arm balance or non-arm balance. If you don't want to arm balance, stay in the squat, rounded spine, chin to chest. If you want to try the arm balance, you're going to take your hands just behind your hips from your Yogi Squat. Think of sitting down towards the back of your wrists as you lift your chest and look forwards, and maybe see if you can find your shoulder pressure pose as your arms hug the top of your triceps. A couple of breaths to either try the arm balance or to stay into the rounded spine Yogi Squat. Inhale. And then exhale. Let your feet wiggle either a little closer together or place them down close together. Come out, bring yourself out of your arm balance. Lift your hips towards the sky, back towards a ragdoll shape. Let yourself have a couple of wiggles or jiggles if you need to feel that extra length, that extra opening into the back of the legs. Find that ragdoll shape again. Maybe you feel a little bit more prepared, a little bit more ready to hold the back of the ankles of the legs and press those hips higher for a more intense hamstring stretch. From here, fingertips to come to your shins. Inhale to halfway rise, long straight spine. And your exhale to fold over, hands to the mat. On the inhale, rise all the way up to stand, arms come up and overhead. And as you exhale, release your hands by your side. I feel like this is the first time, it is the first time we've stood up in the sequence, feeling very tall. So we're going to come to find balance onto our left leg, moving into dancer's pose. Right hand, face it away from you. Bend the knee and hold onto the big toe side of your foot. Left arm is going to reach forwards. Counterbalance the kick of the leg with the reach of the arm as your chest stays as lifted as possible, squeezing through your right glutes to help that leg rise, but trying to keep the pelvis facing the floor. Keep reaching, keep kicking, breathe in. And then see if you can let go of the foot. With control, place it at the back of the mat. Hands come down either side of the foot, and then drop your back knee to the floor. Keep the toes tucked under, rise your torso away from your front thigh, and just let your hands come to rest sort of towards the back of your pelvis. You're going to strongly squeeze your right glutes, lift through your chest, and think of encouraging your pelvis forwards and down to stretch into the front of this right hip. Shoulder blades pinned together, elbows pinned behind you, so you should feel an openness across the front of your chest. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to move into a quad stretch. Depending on what mat you have, what material you're on, you might want to put something squishy under the knee. But my best advice when we come to these sort of bent knee poses, for it not to be sore, is to step this leg as far back as you can. So this is going to hurt more on the kneecap because we don't want to kneel on the kneecap, you want to kneel on your femur bone. Step it as far back as possible. Let your body weight lean forward, so again we're encouraging the front of the thigh to take the bend. See if the right hand can come to catch that foot. You can use straps. If all of this is starting to not work for you, we're about to come into a twisted lizard anyway, so you can stay lower like this. Otherwise, you're going to see if both hands can catch that foot. Rise your way out of the lunge, so you're almost sort of stacking everything towards the top of this back knee. Pull your heel in towards your bum, and you should start to feel it, like a little bit, and then you need to feel it a lot. So I want you to tuck your tailbone strongly. Think of pushing the pelvis forwards, and you should really, really feel it into your quad there. Keep that chest nice and tall, broader through the chest, and keep reminding yourself, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone. Hold the foot here, breathing in, and breathing out. Now keep hold of the foot with just your left hand. The right hand is going to return down to the mat in front of you. Twist your torso towards the left side. Your front left foot, angle it away from you and let the foot roll onto the little toe edge of its foot. As you allow that thigh to roll away from the body, this time the back foot, I want you to kick it away from you. So not only does that feel like more of a strength pose, the back leg, but it should help you stretch across the front of your left chest. The front leg that's rolled out, think of pressing down into the little toe edge of that foot. Keep the right side of the pelvis dropping down towards the mat. Breathe in. And then breathing out. Let go of the foot. Bring your hands back to the mat. Making your foot come between the hands, so just shuffle it a little more inwards if you need, and shift your hips back to come on top of your back knee. I want you to flex the toes towards the sky, and ideally I want us to work with a straight leg today. So I know I often say keep the knee bent, belly towards thigh, which is great, but it has different purposes. So purpose of today, make sure you're balanced so you can put your hands onto blocks or some other sort of support if you need to, but try to have a straight leg. Engage your kneecap up towards your hip, flex your toes, push your heel down, and just be a little higher up if you need to. Working into a straight leg, it should still be a very, very big hamstring stretch. Breathe in, keep lengthening the chest. Breathing out, keep pushing that heel into the floor. Again, breathing in. And then breathing out, rock back forwards towards the top of the mat. 2 hands to the inside of the thigh. And now I want your front foot to be in front of your front knee. So the knee is, the ankle is more forwards than the knee. So it's a little bit like, well, it's a split prep, but it's an extended lizard. So 2 hands on the inside of the thigh, keep the knee squeezing in towards the body, and that foot, the further away from you it goes, the more intense your stretch. So you can choose how far to send it. You should feel it into your left hamstring. There's the option for the right elbow to drop. Not too concerned about the left elbow, because I'm sure if you've got that far, you're probably already feeling it. Keep your chest lengthening forwards. Keep the breath steady. Keep the mind calm. Use your breath to just tolerate it for a moment. Use your exhales to encourage everything just to relax, to be okay. Last breath in. Bring yourself back up onto the hands if you lowered down. Just tentatively wiggle that foot back towards you so you've got control of it, and then wiggle the foot back towards, in between the hands. Back foot is going to step in to meet the front foot, back into a little bit of a ragdoll fold where one leg feels significantly longer than the other. Fingertips to the shins, inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise your way up to stand, reach the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, release your arms, and let's even out those very uneven legs. So right leg becomes our standing leg. Bending the left knee, catch the big toe side of the foot so your chest stays open in your dancer's pose. Right arm reaches forwards, kick the toes to the sky, squeeze the left glutes, keep your chest as lifted as possible. Try not to turn it into a fold. Gaze stays steady on one point. Don't forget to breathe. Hold your balance for your inhale. On the exhale, gently let it go. No slingshots, you can't maintain your balance there. Hands come to the floor, back foot steps back. As the knee drops to the floor, toes stay tucked under. Lift your torso away from the thigh. Take your hands behind your hips to help encourage your hips to drive forwards and down. Stay very strong in the muscles of the pelvis though. We're squeezing the glutes. We're not just pushing our body into a range. We're staying strong and encouraging those muscles to lengthen. Lifting the rib cage, inhale. Sinking the pelvis, exhale. From there, allow yourself to come to try and catch that back foot. So as before, if you need to readjust your back leg, your back knee to move away from you, maybe just lean forward slightly, bend the knee, see if that left hand can catch it. As you come to rise tall, see if both hands can catch it. Option just to move straight into that next pose that we're doing. If all of this is just, it's a no for the knee. Pull the heel in towards your bum, keep your torso upright, tuck that tailbone strongly. The minute you do that, you should feel a very strong difference in the stretch. Think of pushing your pelvis towards the front of the mat as your torso stays nice and upright. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. And then keep hold of the foot with just the right hand. The left hand comes down to the floor. Turn the front foot away from you. You can let that knee roll away from the body. So you're rolling onto the little toe edge of the foot, and then kick that back foot away from you. Turn it into a right chest stretch. You should probably feel it into your left hip flexors as well, but just in a kind of a a bit of a different way. Think of pressing down through that knife edge of the foot. Imagine you're dragging it back towards your pelvis. Drop the left side of the hips. Hold it here, inhale. And then gently let that foot go. Return the foot to the floor. Wiggle the foot back between the hands. And then as you shift back towards half split, pelvis on top of back knee. We're working with a straight leg. So again, that probably means you're going to prop yourself up a little higher. There's not a lot to be gained from keeping that leg straight and then encouraging your forehead to the floor. Keep your chest nice and long. Each time you inhale, think of drawing the chest away from the ribs. The exhale is your opportunity to perhaps allow the torso and the thigh to fold a little closer together, but maintain your gaze forwards to encourage the direction of the body. Keep that little toe pulling back towards you as well. Don't forget about the little toe, we always do. Breathe in. And then breathing out. Roll back towards the top of the mat. We're coming into our extended lizard. So maybe you just want to shuffle that foot forwards a little bit further. So the ankle is further along than the knee. And let the hands come to the inside of the thigh. So if you want to widen it slightly as well. This is probably a very good place to stay. There's no need to sort of deepen down to left elbow. That is just an option if you feel that your body has a little bit further to move into. But keep the knee squeezing in towards the body, keep pressing down through the big toe side of this front foot. And just as before, it feels a little harder because the foot is further away from you, but try pushing the foot down and imagine you're drawing it back in towards the body. That's really, really going to get you to feel that left hamstring. Stay steady with the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. And 2 more here. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Great. Stack yourself back up onto the hands. Wiggle the foot back towards you so you've got control of it. Don't let it go. And then back foot steps in to meet the front foot top of the mat. Leave your feet about hip distance apart. Allow yourself to dangle. Allow yourself to fold. Hopefully those legs feel a little bit more similar in length. I then want you to wiggle your feet to be about as wide as your mat. Still allow them to both face forwards. Keep your fingertips to the floor, and as you inhale, go for like a halfway lift. So you're trying to pull your chest forwards as the thighs press back. Lift the kneecaps up towards the hips. And then take your right fingertips in front of your left toes. Inhale, left arm to the sky, finding a twist through the torso. Now push your right sit bone backwards. We're not twisting the pelvis. That's a good way to keep the pelvis aligned. Inhale. Exhale to switch sides. Left fingertips in front of right toes. Breathing in, right arm rises to the sky. The gaze goes with it. Push that left sit bone back. Take the twist away from the hips. And as you exhale, draw yourself back to center. Coming into a little bit of a Pretzely pose. You kind of have to think about lefts and rights. I want you to cross your right arm on top of your left. Your legs can stay slightly bent here. You don't have to be forcing them straight, and you barely ever do. Right arm on top of left. Come to bind hold of your own ankles or calves or outer legs, holding on nice and firm. There's only one way the body can twist now. Your elbow is going to move towards the top of the mat. You're going to look between your arms. See if you can take your gaze off towards the right side. Breathing in and breathing out. Use your inhale to release, to come back to center, and then switching sides. So left arm on top of right, cross, hold on. If you think about trying to twist the other way, you simply can't. Your arms get jammed together. So I know it feels kind of confusing, but think of your left elbow moving towards the top of the mat. As you look under that left arm, pull against the legs as you look towards the left. Keep those sit bones lifting to the sky. You're obviously still getting into those hamstrings. Inhale. And exhale. Draw yourself back towards the center. Wiggle your feet back to be hip distance apart. Interlacing taking your first 2 fingers between your first 2 toes. So you're binding yourself onto your big toes. Press the big toes down against the fingers. Feel the fingers pull back against the toes. Breathe in, lengthen the chest forwards. And as you breathe out, encourage the body to fold that little bit closer to the legs, finding that tension in the feet. So as the toes push down, the arms pull up, creates lots of strength and tension in the body to help you fold a little further. Breathing in. Breathing out. Great. Now from here, keep hold of your toes. Don't let go of your toes. I want you to start to squat down, bum towards heels. Widen your knees to give yourself an extra chance. See if you can place your bum or pull your bum down onto the floor. You've still got your big toes. Now widen your toes away from you as you balance onto your sit bones into bear pose. The heels or the toes are pushing away, doesn't matter which, but push away through the legs. Keep the chest nice and tall and pull against those toes. So again, you've got that same tension of the arms versus the legs that creates strength and balance within the body. Keep the gaze slightly up, chest is broad. Inhale, keep trying or keep holding. Exhale. One more breath in. And then squeeze the legs in towards the hips. See if you can let go of the feet and slowly, gently encourage those feet down onto the floor. So you found yourself in a wide-legged seat. Maybe just shuffle yourself back slightly. Keep the heels being the things pushing away as the toes pull back towards you and the back of the thighs to push down against the floor. A couple of options depending on where your flexibility is. Either hands to go behind your hips, helping you stay tall and maybe pitching you forwards. If you don't need that support for your lower back to stay flat, you can of course fold forwards. Thinking of the kneecaps lifting towards the hips so that the quads stay nice and firm. Finding extra length in the sides of the body as you breathe in. And a fold or a push as you breathe out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Great. You can sit yourself up or release the tension depending on where you are. Your right arm, I want your palm to face the sky and you're either going to come to rest it towards the inner of your thigh, or if that's too deep for you, you can rest your forearm onto your thigh or just kind of let it do not a lot. If it will, let it rest onto the floor, onto the inner of the thigh. You're then going to inhale, left arm, reach it tall to the sky. Option to stay there. If you can already feel it into your left side body, then stay there. If you've got further to go, you can reach the arm alongside the ear as if that hand might one day find the toes. Make sure your left sit bone stays onto the floor, push it down, and make sure those legs stay just as active as they were. Heels away, toes back, back of the thighs to push towards the floor. Breathe in, find that extra length in that left side, and then breathing out. Sitting yourself up tall. I always feel those stretches, feel like you're stretching muscles that you didn't know you had. On to the other side, so left hand, let the palm face the sky. Option, first is to go onto the inner of the thigh, rest it onto the thigh if you need that little extra lift. Breathing in, right arm goes tall, you can stay there. Or breathing out, send the arm alongside the ear. Maybe one day it finds the toes. But again, this is not really a fold. Much like in gate pose, you're not folding forwards just to grab the foot. If anything, think of leaning back. And that will likely cause your hand to be further away from your foot. But who cares? That's not the point. The point is, if you can feel the stretch in that right side body, you've got it. Hold here as you inhale. And use your exhale to draw yourself back up, bringing your legs all the way back onto the mat. Two bent legs, feet onto the floor, arms to reach alongside your legs, and control your descent as you unravel the body all the way down onto the mat. Shoulders and back of the head find the floor, and then curl your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, thighs towards belly, heels towards bum. Coming towards happy baby, the knees widen out towards the armpits, the soles of the feet flex towards the sky. Reach up to hold the heels or the toes or the ankles, anything you like, and then think of pulling those knees down towards the mat, either side of your body. The toes stay flexed and think of widening away from one another as the bum, the back of the pelvis, stays down against the floor. Now you're very welcome to just stay for a few more moments in regular happy baby and enjoy it for what it is, or allow your left heel to just be a little less intense, so perhaps you're not pulling quite so much on the left. And you're going to think of your right toes coming to tap the floor on the right side of the mat. Now it does not matter, as always, how close they get, but you're just thinking of lengthening that right leg. Making sure the lower back still stays down, so you're not just allowing your bum to lift up and away from the floor. You're finding that length in that right leg, and obviously that right hamstring is going to really feel that. Let it come back to center. It's not one that you can particularly hold for long, or not one that I can hold for long, I should say. Maybe you're doing a lot better than I am. Your right heel, you can just let that right leg be a little less intense. So it's up to you. You can make it as intense as you like. And then see how far those left toes want to go. Thinking of staying strong through the leg, the muscles squeeze hold of the bone, that left arm guides the toes towards the floor. Lower back pushes down, stretching into that left hamstring. Breathe in and then breathe out. Release it. Give your legs a little hug back together, a small little ball for the body. From there, let your knees fall off to the right side of the mat. Your left arm to reach out in the opposite direction, palm to the sky, and you can pin the legs down on the right side with the hands, or you can just let that right arm hang freely. You can then roll back via your back, letting the legs go off in the other direction, letting the right arm reach out, and the head turns to the right. So the whole spine is fully twisted from base to tip. And then roll yourself back onto your back. Let your arms come alongside your body, maybe just shuffle your shoulder blades together. Let your legs extend out to go loose and floppy. Maybe the feet fall away from one another. Closing the eyes. Feeling that natural heaviness of the body down against the floor. And then use a nice deep breath. Reach your arms up and overhead. Point through your toes, so a full body stretch to reawaken. And then exhale. Knees hug in. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then gently find your way back to a comfortable cross-legged seat. Sitting tall, chest rising. With your final breath in, the arms to reach tall to the sky. And your final breath out for the hands to lower towards the belly as the chin lowers down towards the chest. Thank you so much, everyone. I feel like Benny is super relaxed in that. He did his own stretches as we went and he was very distracting for me. I hope you enjoyed that relatively calming. I feel like we did a few hard bits there. Calming full body stretch, working on our flexibility. Those that have not heard yet, I have a flexibility workshop coming up this Sunday. It's a theory-based workshop rather than, an hour and a half of yoga. It's a 90-minute workshop about how we can stretch, the different ways to stretch, the effective ways, the non-effective ways, and all sort of the anatomy and the clever stuff that goes around it. There is a yoga flow included so that we can practice what we learn, so that it really tries to sink into our brains. There's details of that. I've put the link to the website in the description below the video, and then the link to my PayPal is there as well for those that are able to donate towards the class. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you can join me for another class soon.